Hello and welcome all to the Survivor Exile Island cast assessment. I am one of your hosts, Ian Moorhead, along with my co-host, Morgan Jackson.
Hello, everybody. I am super excited for the season and really excited to talk about our 16 castaways. And I really think we're in store for an exciting season. Lots of strategists and some fun personalities.
And I would also like to welcome our special guest, the winner of season 2, TRHS versus the Specialist, Dennie Naprava.
Hello, everyone. Ian, you just called me special. So I appreciate that. I love being here. I loved going over all the videos and all the applications and everything, and super psyched to see how everyone does. So thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
We're excited to have you.
So our season, just as an outlook, our castaways are blind at the moment. This is March 16th. The game starts Friday, March 19th. They have no idea who's playing. They don't know what tribes are. So we have them split into tribes. We first ran this game and advertised it through the Survivor Specialists, who are now renamed the Specialists. So we decided to name our tribes after their hosts, our friends, Phil and Alexa. So we're going to start with the Alexa tribe tonight with the cast assessment. And our first tribe member is my older brother, Austin Moorhead. So Austin is a people person. He's seen maybe 10 episodes of Survivor in his lifetime. He just played in a mini and finished third. I feel like that could be good for him and it could be bad. I feel like if he brings that up often, people are just going to get annoyed and people are either going to care too much and vote him out because they think he's a threat, or not care at all and vote him out because they think it's annoying. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree that he should not really talk about the mini. I saw him play in the mini, and I think he's very charismatic and definitely good with people. So I'm curious to see how he works with everyone in his tribe. But I do think he has to like downplay some of his strengths. Otherwise, because of his charisma, I think he's going to be a target. So I think he has to lay a little bit low and just work on the social game, but not be too vocal in the beginning.
I also think I also watched the mini, and based on, the things that he has sent in to us, I wonder if his expectations for this game are realistic as far as, playing a mini is way different than playing a long game. So it'll be interesting to see how he manages that versus just the day-long event.
Yeah, I think Dennie brings up a good point about his strengths. Like, when I was texting her earlier, I was like, I don't even think he knows what his strengths are. So that also could play to his advantage. I think, though, one question I wrote down for him is, can he win the game? Because he's by far like the lowest fan level that's playing. He's seen definitely the least amount of episodes, and he's going to have to employ some kind of strategy that he can vocalize if he wants to win the game.
Yeah, I could see him making it far, similar to what happened in the mini. If he does a good job of making those social bonds and he would be somebody's like sidekick all the way through the game. I don't necessarily see him being the one that's taking charge and then can capitalize on that at the end. And just knowing the timing of when to make a move, when to change gears. I don't know if he would necessarily be thinking about that.
Yeah, we saw his name come up a lot during the mini. Like he got a lot of votes throughout. So he was constantly a target. And I mean, I think that had a little bit to do with some pre-existing relationships, but he seemed to be like on the right side of the numbers though when he wasn't. Like he was either a target or he was with the right people. I feel like he's going to do really good in the challenges. So I think he's going to be an asset to his tribe in that sense. I just think, yeah, he needs to. I know you're saying he doesn't know what his strengths are, but I think he's going to have to figure that out pretty fast so that he can downplay them, because I do think he's going to be a target like straight out of the gate.
Yeah, and I wonder if like our last names will make any kind of, just like knowing people find out that like he's my brother. I wonder if that will make an impact either. I hope it doesn't, because that would honestly be sad if that was, a reason he got voted out. But all right, we're gonna move on to our second Alexa tribe member. This is Michael Zucker. So Michael is vocally not a people person. That was like one of the first things he mentioned in both his application and both his intro confessional. Makes me a little scared for Michael Zucker that he's not a people person.
Yeah, I pulled some things that he said in his application. He said that he is easily irritated, sarcastic, witty, and ruthless. So right off the bat, that does make me a little nervous for his just his ability to make some good relationships with people.
Yeah, he's 27, a physician's assistant. So I feel like obviously he's smart, but he is newly married, I think. And I don't know that he knows what he signed up for with this time commitment, because these games, you really do have to put a lot into them. And I just think because he's not a people person, I think maybe he should have had his wife sign up in his place because I think she would do better just based off of his video. Um, he compared himself to David Wright, though, who I do like as a player. I just don't think that he's really going to connect with his tribe mates. I definitely see him going out early in the game.
Yeah, I wrote down dark horse to win the game, but also could be the first person voted out. So
I also feel like he could, just having that, he's very smart, very strategic. He could be somebody who might get in like a power struggle with somebody on the tribe for like being the strategic controller of how votes are going. So I could see that also happening, where he's clashing, not only being annoyed with people, but also strategically battling for power.
yeah, I think we're going to run into that a lot this evening going through the tribes. Like most of these people seem to be strategic heavy. And I think someone like Austin, and there's a few other people even on this tribe that aren't like the strategist. I feel like they could mold their way into, I feel like the strategists are going to collide before like the Austin social people of the world collide with the strategists. So that could make out well for people like Austin, and then people like Michael, it could be great or be very bad, being he has a chance to go out first.
I'm calling bad.
Yeah,
also during his video, he was very like dry. His personality was just kind of stale. And I'm not saying he doesn't have one, but I think when you get into that Zoom call with everyone, like you have to, talk to people. And since he's not a people person and he seems kind of dry, I just don't think people are going to be drawn to trying to connect with him.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on Michael Zucker?
Early boot.
No offense, Michael. Sorry. But not sorry.
Prove us wrong.
Our next tribe member is Mackenzie Newcomb. So Mackenzie is the founder, I don't even know what to call her, president.
She calls herself a content creator.
Yeah, of my girlfriend's book club, Bad Bitch Book Club. So Mackenzie speaks in front of people on Zoom calls with like 100 people in it consistently. But right now she's going to be speaking in front of 8 people, and not everyone's going to want to hear Mackenzie talk. She's not the appointed leader in this tribe. So I originally had her as one of my like top contenders, and after seeing her video and kind of putting a little more thought into it, I feel like she could be an easy target for the early going.
I have kind of the opposite of you. So on paper, because I read her application first and then I saw her video much later, On paper, I was really not a fan. I just felt like she sounded a little pretentious and not really the kind of girl that I want to hang out with. But then when I saw her video, I saw a completely different side. She's very well spoken, seems very likable, and I feel like people will be drawn to her. So, I mean, if it was me, I would definitely try to take her out, even though I'd be drawn to her because I don't want to go against her in the end. I do think that as long as she can sit back and not try to steer things, that she can make it definitely all the way to 4. She reminds me of like a Carrie Underwood, not the singer, but the one who played the game with us, because she is very social. So I think if she can sit back a little bit, she could kind of, get to Final Four, I think.
Yeah, I definitely think her whole game is just going to depend on the first couple votes and how she plays that. Because, like you said, she does a very good job of speaking, and that is just a huge thing of one, getting people to trust you, wanting to work with you, and then when you're at the end, being able to articulate what you did that makes you deserve the win. So if she can just I think the key for her would be to lay low because she is a self-proclaimed gossipy girly girl. So if she's trying to run her mouth, share everybody's secrets, she could get in trouble early. But if she just restrains herself for a little while, I think she could really propel herself far.
She is not my winner pick, but I think if she's sitting at the end, there's no chance that anybody beats her.
That's why you got to strike early.
No, I'm just saying there's no way. I said she could be an early target, but she could easily schmooze her way to the end of the game.
Yeah, because I do think you said she says she's a gossipy girl. I do think that people are going to go to her with information because they're going to feel comfortable, but she has to know like when to share and when to hold that and keep it to herself.
And what to share. I think that's like something in Survivor that not a lot of people think about. They're like, oh, the timing was off, but like, what decision was it? Like, what information were you sharing? You don't have to tell the whole truth. You can tell a fraction of it and still get away with it. So,
right.
Also, the idol nullifier was her favorite twist.
Yeah.
That
Mackenzie, you gotta pick a new one. You gotta pick a new one. Whenever you see this in a couple months, pick a new favorite.
Also, all of her favorite Survivor players are strong women. And I'm curious to see if she tries to work with the other women in the game or if she's going to align with the guys. Because the book club, I'm assuming she speaks to, hundreds of women. And then her favorite Survivor players, Kim, Michelle, Poverty. So I feel like, I'm curious to see who she tries to align with on her tribe.
So some of our castaways compared themselves to survivors in their intro confessionals that we had them do. And Mackenzie's was the one that confused me the most. She started off by saying that she doesn't think she's going to do well in physical challenges, which like at most in a virtual game, you're going to get endurance. That's about it. You're not going to have people lifting stuff or, running for a long time or swimming. And then she compares herself to Natalie Anderson.
I know.
So confusing. Like Morgan and I spoke last night. Natalie is by far the most fit woman to have ever won. She hasn't won the most challenges, but she's fit as can be.
A beast.
So that was like an odd comparison to make. But we'll see. She could prove us wrong. And she might prove herself wrong. You have no idea if you're going to be good at these challenges, especially if you've never played in the game. I thought I was going to be good at them. I sucked.
It varies so much from challenge to challenge. They're just, dumb little challenges that you never know what you're going to be good at and what you're not going to be good at.
All right, Morgan, you want to carry us into our next?
Yes. All right. Our next member of the Alexa tribe is John David Millsip from Canada. So we all know John. He played with us in the season of TRHS versus Specialist that we all played in. He was a pre-merge boot, a casualty of the Miami losses. And I'm very excited to see what he has in store for his second chance here.
Yes, I played with John. He was on my tribe, and he is very likable, and he drew me in. He really made me feel like he cared about me, really wanted to get to know me, and I love that. And I feel like he's going to easily connect with people in this game as well. But he wants to be the villain so badly. And I feel like if he would step away from that desire and just play the hero role, that he would make it a lot farther in the game. So I wish that he would let the villain thing go, but I know he's not going to. He's like obsessed with it. So, but I wish if I had any advice for him, it would be, dude, just be the hero.
Yeah, he has such an interesting like dichotomy of he is the nicest person I've ever met, and yet he wants to like he will, and I didn't even play with him, but like even in pregame for that season 2 we all played, he was trying so hard to convince me and doing a good job of trying to work with him. And then you come out and watch his confessionals and you see that he's trying to, blindside people the first chance he gets. Like you gotta pick one. You gotta pick one, John. You can be both, but you can't be so 100 hero and then 100 villain the next day. I agree. I think he needs to play the hero role. I don't know if he can win with that role, but he definitely won't be a pre-merge boot with that role. I would be shocked if John was voted out pre-merge this season.
Yeah, something interesting he said is based off his previous game, he really wants to keep bigger threats in the game this time to keep the threat off of him. I just wonder if they're going to want to keep him back. So that's what he has to think about when he's choosing who he's aligning with. I think he makes the merge though.
I think so too.
Yeah. And John, very underrated aspect of John is his puzzle ability. He can solve quite a few puzzles very quickly. I think he could find some alliances in his tribe through, being the hero in challenges, pulling off puzzles quickly. But that's another thing for those people to think about. Do they let him get deep in the game knowing that he can solve puzzles at the drop of a hat? So
I mean, experience is another thing to consider with these two. He, at least on his tribe, is going to be one of the only couple people who have an experience with a long game like this, which I think can go a long way. And just knowing what to expect, what's important, things to look for, things to pay attention to as far as advantages, and kind of knowing what to expect. That can be a big advantage for him too.
I'm excited, so excited to see him play again.
Yeah, me too.
Next, we have Andrew Denson. He is a college women's rugby coach, which I think is so cool. That's very interesting to me. And his profile picture on Facebook is him dressed as Jeff Probst, which I feel like you got to have bonus points for that.
It's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very excited about Andrew. He's another person we've never seen him play in any of our the groups that we're a part of, but he is an org vet. He actually just finished an org 3 days ago that he was telling me about. He was in the final 5 at that point. Don't know how that ended up for him. I feel like he's going to get in with an alliance. He, as a coach, he wants other people to, do the work, but he's guiding them along the way. I think he's going to make the right move at the right time. I think that's going to be the big thing for Andrew. Can he make the right move at the right time. I think if he picks the right poison, I think that might be your winner at the end of the game. I think he's probably pretty high up there for all of us, but
Yeah, he's probably the one I'm most excited to see play. Well, him and maybe one other person. But on this tribe, I'm definitely most excited to see Andrew. Um, in the section where it asked if you're a hero or villain, he said he's a hero with a martyr complex. And it just reminded me, he reminds me in general, like his whole charisma, the way he speaks, everything he wrote. He reminds me of a cross between Corey Conway and Dr. Stan. I don't know if you know Dr. Stan from the mini I played in, but super charismatic, great in front of the camera. And then Corey, who thinks he's a hero, but is actually the biggest villain. And that's what I think this guy is. I think Andrew is saying he's a hero, not coming to terms with the fact that he's actually a villain. I can see him jumping into a leadership role just because I think he is so comfortable and has played these games before. So I think that's where he needs to like take a step or two back just so he doesn't put an easy target on himself. But I think he's really likable. He's going to have a strong social game. I think he's also going to be really great at challenges, all types of challenges. So I feel like, yeah, I feel like he could come out on top in this game.
Yeah, I think he has all of the winning elements, right, of what we look for in a survivor winner. He has strategy, he's social, he's well spoken, he's athletic. So he kind of checks all the boxes. I could see, if John is really looking to have big threats work together, I could see John gravitating towards Andrew as probably two of the more experienced players. Also, just I could see them getting along well, and they would maybe take control of the Alexa tribe early on. I could definitely see that happening.
one thing I want to add about the experience and like playing in these games, and people who have played in more of these are kind of like more open to, they'll do something because it's a move. And if it's a mistake, like they've played in orgs, they've probably done well before, they don't really care. I hope Andrew doesn't fall into that category. I don't know if he will, but we have seen some people just, they've played in 3 orgs in the last 2 months. Like, I'll just, try this move and it doesn't work. And then, they're voted out next. So I'm hoping Andrew doesn't fall into that category of people, and that's something him, John, some others that we'll get to, I hope none of them do, because we want to see them play this game, so not other games that they've played before.
Yeah, I think you also worry about like burnout a little bit because these games do require so much time and energy of you. So the fact that he just finished a game a couple days ago and now he's jumping right back into another one. Hopefully he doesn't get a couple rounds in and it's like, you know what, my heart's not in this.
Yeah, and
I think we're all really excited to see him play and see what he's got.
I know other games people have played in don't require as much time. And I don't know how much time people are going to put into this game, but the one we played, I literally played like 22 hours a day. So I just wonder, yeah, how much time are each of these people willing to put into the game? Some of them aren't working, they're students, or and some work very full-time hours. So I'm just curious to see how they manage everything and how much time they're putting into the game.
All right, next up we have Gaby Mallow. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. And I think she does have experience with orgs. I'm not totally sure what her experience is. But I think she will be one that will be, she said she's like loyal to a fault. I think she said something about that in her application.
Yeah, I hope that I think it's likely, but I hope we don't see her get led like a pig to the slaughter early on. she said that about being loyal to a fault. She is kind of out on an island by herself. I think we have 5 women total out of 16, but she is the oldest by quite a big margin. I think 9 or 10 years. So she is kind of out on an island by herself. I played in a trivia game with Gabby, and she's just very uppity and excited, and she's on a tribe with Michael Zucker, who's just not a people person. So like, will those two clash on day one of just getting to know each other? We won't know.
Yeah, she said she loves meeting new people, and that's the part of the game she's most excited about, which I think is cute. But sadly, I do not think that she's going to get to know people because I think she's early out. I think if her tribe loses the first challenge, she will be the first boot. If her tribe wins the first challenge and maybe she has a chance to like, convey to someone or a couple people how loyal she is in the game, that maybe she lasts a little bit longer, but still I think she goes out early.
And we do have we do have some twists and turns in the season. I just don't know how she handles, like new people and meeting new people all the time. So like that, yes, that is her favorite part of the game, which is great because we're trying to build a community of people. We wouldn't have known each other without our game. So yeah, I worry a little bit for Gabby's game. I'm interested to see if she makes it far into the game. I'm honestly going to be pretty shocked. Sorry, Gabby, but I hope to see you go as far as you can make it, but be a little shocking to me. So
yeah, I think a couple things, the twist that we do have in store for the season could in some way play to her advantage, just depending on how things shake out with that. We also talked about how we worry about all these strategic people kind of going after each other. So she could potentially kind of sneak through for a few rounds while all the strategic players are eating each other. So
yeah, and I think that her tribe winning the first challenge is so big for her because you need more than 3 days for the strategic people to start going at each other. Mm-hmm. So if she can, because if you lose the first challenge, almost every person says what's the easy vote? Let's just do the easy vote. It's the first one. Let's not, start attacking each other yet. So I think looking on paper, she might be the easy vote to start. So I think winning that first challenge for her sake, for her game's sake, is so bigger for her than it is for really any other member on tribe on paper at this point.
Agree.
All right, moving on to our youngest cast member, who I believe just turned 17.
Yeah.
Connor Clark, our second Canadian of the whole group. So he and John will have a connection right off the bat. Yeah, I think it'll be fun to have really a kid on the cast. He has a lot of energy, a lot of ambition, and he thinks very highly of himself. So we'll see how that plays over.
Yeah, I've played trivia now, Survivor trivia with Connor twice. Very vocal both times. Always is off mute. He's always ready to talk. He surprised me today. It always surprises me to hear that he's never played an org. He seems like the person who would have played in 40 by now because, he's in high school. He doesn't have that much going on. No offense to high schoolers. But I think he can use his age to manipulate people, I'm 16, or 17, can he use his age on purpose to make moves? Because if not, I think he could be targeted as the younger person or the person who talks a bunch. I mean, he literally called some lady out in trivia the other night because he thought he put his hand on her head before she did. So he's not afraid to speak up and say what's on his mind.
I think that could get him into trouble, honestly.
I am excited for Connor, though. I feel like he's going to be a good person to just have on the screen at all times. I feel like he's going to be dropping information left and right and bringing it to us in an exciting way and not my way, which is just monotonely speaking at the camera.
Yeah, I gotta say I'm really excited about Connor. He said that he might come into the game playing too hard too fast. So that's the only thing I'm worried about with him. If I was playing the game though, I would totally see myself aligning with him. I just feel like, yeah, his age might like make him a target in the beginning, but I just think that's the perfect person to align with. I feel like he is great in front of the camera. He's going to give good confessionals. I just think he is someone like maybe John should look to align with early on, and then keep an eye on him. But what you're saying about him being outspoken and stuff, I think that can work for you. It worked for me. It kind of works for Frank sometimes. It can work for you, but you just have to be careful. And you really have to get a good read on the people you're playing with and just know how they're going to take it moving forward. But I also think he's going to be really good at challenges. So
yeah, I agree. I think he'll be probably the best overall challenge person on his tribe. He's very quick-minded. He got the math question the other night right in trivia at 18 people. So he can do things in his head, solve mental challenges. He plays soccer, which, endurance wise will help, could help physically too. I just feel like he'll be calm when it comes to challenges. And a lot of these challenges have to do with, staying balanced, staying like just not shaking or just, keep breathing well. Just, I feel like he'll be set for challenges. I agree.
Yeah, I think he has a strong chance of being somebody who's going to figure out the advantages, the clues that are sprinkled throughout the game, just being observant of those things. But as far as just getting in with the tribe, I think self-awareness is very important, and I don't know if he has that quite yet. It's just going to take the right combination of people. Just like you said, Denny, you would be like, all right, I'm working with him. But with a very male-heavy tribe, I don't know if he's going to be seen as somebody that they want to work with. He might just be viewed as like a threat that's kind of just this annoying kid.
Yeah, I think if the right person kind of says, hey, this is my person I want to work with, then they have to kind of reel him in and just like make sure he's not too outspoken and that he's not jumping the gun on things and making rash decisions. But yeah, if he aligns with the right couple people, I think he goes really far in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I agree.
All right, Morgan. And our last Alexa Tribe member is your friend, Jim Bunce.
Yes. So I work with Jim Bunce. I am a cross country and track coach at the high school I work at, and he is another coach. So I have known him for a few years. He's always my friend that we talk about the Survivor episodes the day after they air and go over everything. So when we were planning this game out, I told him, hey, you should apply. So I'm really excited to see him play. If I had to pick a survivor to compare him to, I would pick like Keith Nail. He just is kind of like this fun, goofy guy, not necessarily overly strategic, but has like a great heart and is just there to have fun and get to know people. So he's also the oldest person on his tribe, which could be a bad thing or it could be a good thing. But I am excited to see him play and have him be part of the season.
Yeah, Jim, I think it's another one, like, can he fit in? I think there's a few people that we've talked about for the Alexa tribe that, like, we know are going to fit in. Like, can Jim fit in? If Jim can fit in, I feel like he is attached at the hip to the strategic mastermind of the tribe. I feel like he's going to be cool with just like going along with, just like Keith is, just going to be cool with like riding the boat all the way
Stick to the plan.
Yeah, stick to the plan. He could be singled out as the old guy on the tribe. Again, it's important to win that first challenge to get an extra couple days to get to know people, for other people to attack each other. So yeah, I think I'm excited to see Jim play. Whenever we get episode 0 out or episode 1, Jim's intro confessional was by far the best one we got. It was hilarious. So just watching that makes me excited to see him play.
Yeah, he's an interesting cat for sure. I mean, his video was entertaining. It surprised me. His whole alter ego thing, and he says he has $1 million smile. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he connects with his tribe mates. I do think it's going to be a little bit harder for him to connect. He is a dad. I think he has a son actually Connor's age. So that's interesting. I just want to see how he connects with everyone. If I was in the game, I would want to work with him. I'd pull him in right away and use him as a number. I don't think long game that he is someone I'd want to work with, though. I view him kind of like a Philip Conti kind of, where he might jeopardize your game in the long run. But I do think early on, pull him in. And I think he's like probably easily moldable. Again, I only have applications and short little videos to base these people off of. But
Listen, Denny, that's all we got too. So that's why this is fun, because we really don't know what's going to happen. We're just
I know.
Well, just knowing Jim personally, I definitely think he's going to be the kind of player where it's like, okay, tell me who to vote for. And I'm cool with that, you know? So I think he's just along for the ride. One other thing is he does work kind of weird hours. Just like has to get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to leave for work. He works like a factory job. So I wonder how that's going to impact the game. And I think it will just depend on the group as a whole. You know, what's everybody's level of time commitment to this. We saw in our season how the people who worked in the middle of the night, that was a huge thing for them in their game and their bonding. So I don't know if we have any other nighttime workers, but it'll be interesting to see how that plays a factor in it as well.
Yeah.
That's the Alexa tribe.
Yeah, that's it. Those are your 8 Castaways who are always wear dark green.
Yes.